Hi, I'm Steve Foulger. Welcome to this edition of Parks Are for People. Summer is in high gear here in Los Angeles County, so we thought you might like to see some classic sports that are happening around the Southland. To begin with, you'll be in for some old world etiquette as we pay a visit to the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club. After that, we'll make a splash at one of the county's coolest hotspots, Raging Waters. We'll check out model boating at Whittier Narrows, and finally, we'll gear up for some high-speed cycling at the Greater Los Angeles Criterium. But first, let's take advantage of the summer breeze here at Bonelli Park and introduce you to the sport of windsurfing.
There is a need in your own hometown. Please join your local chapter.
Well, it took a while, but windsurfing has finally taken America, and especially Southern California, by storm. Since 1981, the sport has virtually exploded with popularity in this country. Today we'll find out why as we take a lesson right here at Bonelli Park. But first, let's have a look at the roller coaster history of this unique sport. For a sport that has roots here in America, windsurfing, or board sailing as it is now known, took a rather lengthy and roundabout route to popularity in this country. A brainchild of Hoyle Schweitzer and aerodynamics engineer Jim Drake, the windsurfing concept came to the two men one day back in 1967. Lying on the beach, lazily watching surfers riding waves less than 100 yards in front of them, as catamarans gracefully glided by in the distance, they figured, why not attach a small mast to a surfboard and harness the wind as a source of power? Seemed logical enough, but how would one change direction without falling off the board? Convinced that they'd hit upon a unique idea, the two men embarked on the long process of trial and error, which would eventually lead to the solution to this problem and to the creation of a revolutionary new sport. When the windsurfer first hit the American market back in 1970, it met with only limited success, for several reasons. To begin with, it truly was a brand new sport, not sailing and not surfing, but a combination of the two. Veteran sailors weren't too excited about the idea of getting that wet, and the hardcore surfing crowd, a much younger group, was skeptical of the windsurfer's large and somewhat awkward-looking design. In essence, a whole new breed of sports enthusiast had to be created. Created it was, but not overnight. Slowly word spread among the strata of rugged individualists, the thrill-seeker elite, those who dared to be different. Eventually, Hoyle Schweitzer, who had subsequently bought out his partner, introduced the sport to the Dutch, and almost overnight, windsurfing caught on like wildfire all over Europe. Not to be outdone, America got back in the act, and by 1981, there were well over 1 million active board sailors in this country. Windsurfing had finally come of age. This little gadget is what solved that turning problem that we spoke of earlier. It's called an articulated universal joint and makes possible the rotation of the mast 360 degrees. Coupled with the wishbone-shaped boom, it gives the board sailor the ability to turn in any direction. Before I start sounding like an expert on the subject, let's talk to one. Ah, the magic of TV. John, nice to meet you.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Good. John Casera, president of Sarka Ski and Sport in Laverne, and I understand you guys run the program out here. Tell me a little bit about it.
That's correct. We've been out here for about 5 or 6 years, Steve, teaching the art of windsurfing. We've been teaching youth and adults.
All right, now, the first question, John, if I had never done it before, and I haven't, what would you tell me? What's the most important thing that you could impart to someone who's never had any experience with the sport?
Well, basically in windsurfing, we find it's more technique than it is power. So the most important thing is to get a lesson. That way you make it a more exciting sport instead of one of work and
All right.
frustration.
Well, I dressed for the occasion. How about that lesson?
Fantastic.
All right. Windsurfing has come a long way since the early days. In 1984, the sport made its debut as an Olympic event at the Summer Games in Los Angeles. No other modern sport has been accepted so early in its development. Today, the sport has reached a high level of sophistication and has actually become several sports in one. Aside from good old recreational funboarding, there's racing, freestyle, speed sailing, and wave riding and jumping. The current world speed record on a sailboard is over 38 knots or 44 miles per hour, making it the world's fastest wind-driven vehicle on water. With the steady growth of the sport, the demand for specialized boards and equipment for each aspect of this unique activity has intensified. Today, there are almost 12 million board sailors in the world. Over 3 million of them reside right here in the U.S. With numbers like that, it's no wonder there are literally hundreds of manufacturers around the world churning out high-quality boards and sails of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Well, I think I'm finally getting the hang of it. If you're interested in trying the sport here at Bonelli Park, lessons are available every weekend throughout the summer. Call the gang at Sarka Ski and Sport and they'll get you started. Before you know it, you'll be cruising, just like me. It's a game of strategy, etiquette, and sportsmanship. This is lawn bowling, and it just might be the most cultured outdoor sport in Southern California. Lawn bowling is a far cry from the more commonly known form of bowling, with pins, strikes, and gutter balls. In fact, the two sports have very little in common. Modern lawn bowling was developed in early England, where the game acquired a strong sense of tradition. The sport made a permanent foothold in the San Gabriel Valley, with the completion of Arcadia County Park and the formation of the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club in the late 30s. Since then, the club has made sure that lawn bowling has remained a highly civilized and social activity. With more than 200 participants, the club continues to take its lawn bowling very seriously. Participants usually meet every afternoon to roll a few down the green. On almost any given day, 60 to 70 players wearing traditional whites can be found practicing. The facilities at Arcadia Park include 4 bowling greens and a clubhouse. The quality of this course has attracted and entertained visiting players from as far away as Canada and Ireland. This facility is considered to be one of the finest in the country. To begin the game, a little white ball known as a jack is tossed at the far end of a grassy run. While the game of lawn bowling may look a little unusual, the rules are really quite simple. The object is to roll the black ball as close to the jack as possible. The team that does this during a round receives a point. The team with the most points at the end of the game is declared the winner. True to its name, lawn bowling is played on a carefully tailored field of grass called the green. And different courses are considered fast or slow depending on how the run is cut and sloped. I'm here with Bud Rogers, who's the president of the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club. Bud's going to give me a lesson, but first, Bud, tell me a little bit about the history of the sport.
Well, there is evidence that this game was played in a similar form in ancient Egypt, 7,000 years ago. They passed it on to the Greeks, and the Greeks to the Romans. Italy today has a similar game called bocce that is similar to this, very similar to this game.
And how long has it been popular here in Southern California?
Well, our club celebrated their 50th anniversary in 1987, so we've been here 50 years.
All right. Now, I noticed the ball doesn't look anything like a bowling ball. It's lighter, it's kind of oddly shaped. Why is that?
Well, one side is shaved and off, and it's wetted slightly, so that when the ball slows down, or the bowl slows down, well, it'll curve either to the right or the left.
Okay. And the object is to come close to the little white ball,
As
the
close,
jack?
Close to the jack as possible.
All right. Let me give it a try.
Ah,
Very good, very
Okay.
good.
well, thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you on the green.
The highly developed tradition of nonverbal communication is underway at the far end of the run. Team members standing at the end of the green communicate to the teammate where best to roll the ball. Few words are spoken during the game. Teammates talk to the player through a wide variety of hand signals, creating a symphony of gestures. The highlight for any player is one of the many tournaments held at the greens. This is a charity tournament to raise money for the City of Hope. While the tournament is all in fun, no one can deny that this is a serious competition.
For more than half a century, the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club has kept the art of lawn bowling alive here at Arcadia Park. Because of these dedicated individuals, the tradition will live on.
A perplexing problem has puzzled young people since the beginning of time. How to get a job without experience, and how to get experience without a job.
The answer is cooperative education, a nationwide program that lets college students work at real jobs for real pay while they're getting an education.
I knew that.
Oh, hi, Abby. Is Paul here? Oh, hi, Paul. This John's taking...
Hi, Oak. Why don't you run out in the kitchen and get some cookies and milk?
Gee, I am bored. There's got to be something better to do than just lie around watching the tube.
Yes.
What wary, fellow?
Raging waters where the C10 meets the 10 in San Dimas. A whole day of liquid refreshments.
Welcome to Raging Waters, Southern California's remedy for the summer doldrums. The largest water theme park west of the Mississippi is right here in Los Angeles County, inside Bonelli Park in San Dimas. Supervisor Pete Shabaram originated the concept of developing a water theme park on a county facility back in 1981. The process took only 2 years before Raging Waters became a reality in 1983. The area was created to be a tropically landscaped amusement park featuring 14 different water rides. The rides here at Raging Waters are tailored for everyone's enjoyment. This is Raging Rivers. Here you can experience the thrill of whitewater rafting on the world's largest man-made river. You can lazily pilot your tube through the canyons and waterfalls, through the swirling whirlpools and over the waterspouts. The best is saved for last as you ride the rapids to the river's end.
These are some of the best waves this side of LA. This wave cove was designed to simulate the optimum ocean-like waves.
For added safety, life vests are provided free of charge. Safety is of the utmost importance here at Raging Waters. The park is operated under the philosophy that safety and fun go hand in hand. With 44 acres of slides, chutes, and lagoons, the lifeguard staff was initially faced with the problem of monitoring this large and unique layout. A plan was created that positioned trained water safety experts in strategic places throughout the park.
Additional safety measures have been incorporated into the park's overall design, providing the utmost in rideability, slideability, and just good fun. Want to sit up here with me? Come on up here. Say hello to the folks at home. Hi. Younger kids have a paradise all their own. The Little Dipper is only 18 inches deep and is carefully supervised by lifeguards.
3 activity pools offer endless amusement for the kids. Also at the Little Dipper are swing sets and a grassy area for Mom and Dad. You'll find everything you need for a day in the sun, from sunglasses to sunscreen, at the beach shop. You name it and they've probably got it. And be sure to bring a healthy appetite along, because Raging Waters is known for its culinary delights, guaranteed to satisfy everyone's taste buds. The park is open daily during the summer, and admission is only $12.95 for adults and $8.95 for kids.
There's a ride here to suit everyone's taste. And for the brave-hearted, there's Dropout, which is exactly what it does.
The free fall in Dropout is so exhilarating, the ride takes your breath away. Gather up your courage before you take that lonely walk to the top, because on your way down, and it is straight down, you'll hit speeds up to 40 miles an hour.
Dropout may or may not be the ride for you, but that's okay. You don't have to ride the rides here at Raging Waters. This place is also great for just lying around.
When you think of drag boat racing, naturally you think of big engines. You think of flashy paint jobs, fireproof racing suits, and crash helmets.
Well, you might consider an alternative. We're here on the shores of Leg Lake at Whittier Narrows for a model boating demonstration sponsored by NAMBA, or the North American Model Boaters Association.
Like remote-controlled airplanes, model boating has been around since the early 40s. Not surprisingly, this unique pastime began right here in Southern California. K&B Manufacturing has been around even longer. Today it's still the only company in the world to manufacture outboard motors for model boats.
And when it comes to racing, these miniature replicas of some of the world's fastest boats have nothing to be ashamed of. Scaled down to roughly 1/10 the size of actual drag boats, these mini high-performance machines are capable of speeds in excess of 60 miles per hour.
At full size, that equates to over 600 miles per hour. And remember, to one of these little speedsters, a 6-inch wind wave is actually a 6-foot breaker. There are 3 different engine sizes which determine the class that the boats run in. The engines range from 3.5 to 11 cubic centimeters and generate up to 4 horsepower at 22,000 RPMs.
But there's more to winning at model boat racing than just the mechanics. With me is Don Donikowski, one of the winningest model boat racers in Southern California. Don, thanks for being with us. Tell me, what does it take to win at this sport?
Well, Steve, it takes a combination of 4 things. Luck, 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 and probably my really terrific fuel.
No kidding, you make your own fuel?
I have it made for me. My formula, nitromethane, methanol, oil, and something from alligators. It's made down in Alabama.
Well, there's got to be more to it than that.
Well, there really is. I'd say eye-hand coordination is probably #1. Good equipment, name brands, good motors, hulls and such, good propellers. Those all play a large part.
A race takes place in an oval about 9/10 of a mile in length and consists of 6 laps. An event of this type is over in about 90 seconds. This leaves a racer very little margin for error. One false move and...
Model boating enthusiasts are out here on the lake every Saturday. So if you're looking for an exciting but exacting sport, come on out to Whittier Narrows and give it a try. Gee, Don, sorry about your boat.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Stay with us. Parks are for people. We'll be right back.
Guess where Bill is? Blue chip Bill? Gotta be Wall Street. No, he joined the Peace Corps. I thought that went out with the 60s.
Peace Corps. It's creating food systems in Africa, turning deserts back into forests, and fighting malaria in Asia. It's hands-on and hats off. It's making a friend. It's been tough, but for 25 years, the Peace Corps has been making a difference in the world.
Bill, I can't believe it.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Saturdays in Monterey Park are usually quiet and relaxed, but on this summer morning, things are a bit more hectic than usual. Once a year, this otherwise unknown urban setting is the site for one of the most popular and challenging bicycle races in Southern California, the Greater Los Angeles Criterium. Jim?
That's right, Steve. Sanctioned by the United States Cycling Federation, this criterium is strictly for amateurs, and such events are becoming very popular here in the active Southland.
In response to this demand, the LA County Department of Parks and Recreation, the Marichal Vitae Racing Club, and Olive Garden Restaurants have combined to create the Greater Los Angeles Criterium.
Now, a typical criterium is a race with a short, circular course, usually about 1 mile or less. But within the Greater Los Angeles Criterium are elements that distinguish this course from all the rest. And to find out more about that, let's go to Steve.
Thanks, Jim. I'm with Suzanne Soni, who's a member of the Marichal Vitae Cycling Club. Suzanne, tell me a little bit about the course.
What makes this course so different and so tough is the hill in the course.
So criteriums normally don't have a hill?
No, they're relatively flat.
And what kind of a cyclist will do well in a course like this?
A road racer or a climber, small person.
Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Jim.
Racing begins early as separate competitions are held for riders of different age and skill groups. As one might expect, the easiest races are those with the fewest laps around the course. Of all the races held here today, none will be as demanding as the senior men's categories 1 and 2. Now the class is divided into 4 categories, 4 being the lowest and 1 the highest. The men can only move up through the classes by victories, and that has ensured that all of the racers here are among the strongest in amateur competition.
Thanks, Jim, and they'll need every bit of that strength. Senior competitors in categories 1 through 3 have to complete 30 laps on this course for a total of 30 miles. Now that also adds up to 3,600 feet before the course is done.
Steve, within any race there are favorites, those who are expected to win. And today's competition is no different. These are people who, because of their ability, have been chosen to win by the team coach. The other team members will work together throughout the race to help this rider take first.
Okay, I'm here with Mickey Janaszak, who is from Mission Viejo, and Mickey is with Team Schwinn Veloce Cycle. Mickey, what do you think your chances are today?
Today we're going to go for the team aspect, so we're trying to get someone in the break and work together to get a winner rather than just individual type standings.
Great. What do you think about this course?
It's harder than it looks. Once you go a few times, you think, oh, the hill's not so bad, but once you get in there 10, 15 times, it starts to wear on you. And the heat also plays a factor.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck.
Okay,
take care.
Thank you.
The time for last-minute equipment checks and other preparations are over as the riders begin lining up at the starting line. The beginning of the race will be extra difficult as the riders will be starting uphill from a dead stop.
The race begins and riders struggle up the hill. Those who do well on a flat course may find themselves floundering against this incredibly steep grade. On the other hand, riders who are not known for speed but are good hill climbers may have a chance to make this race their own.
Once atop the hill, the riders get their first taste at the downhill descent. Cyclists go as fast as they dare in order to make up for time lost on the hill. Speeds on this part of the course can reach over 60 miles per hour. Whew.
Off the hill and onto the flat section of the course, this is an area where the racers change and jockey for best position. Most competitors try to stay on the outside of the pack. Once in the middle or in the back, a racer has little chance of breaking out. But this is the LA Criterium, a race known for breaking rules as well as riders. A change doesn't take long as three riders, Kenny Allen, Tim Bearer, and Matt Berenda, break away from the main pack and quickly take the front. This first assault has come early in the race, although no one is sure how long these leaders will last. The riders in the break continue to hold their distance from the pack. Will they keep this lead, or will staying off the front prove to be too much? The pack can only wonder and watch. Legs push and wheels spin as these rugged athletes continue to push their way to the top time after time. The distance between the pack and the breakaway riders grows even larger with each lap. More and more, the race is beginning to look like a contest among these three individuals. Coming into the final lap, the three riders know that this part of the race will require a powerful sprint to the finish line. This will demand an all-out effort since the finish line, like the start, is completely uphill. Kenny Adams, 30 miles and 30 hills later. How does it feel, man?
Oh, I'm pretty tired, but it worked out good.
All right, how about this hill out here? What'd you think of it?
It was good for me. I'm a good climber, so obviously it worked out pretty good. I won.
You got a big jump out early on in the race and pretty much held your own from there on out.
Yeah, this kind of course favors a small break like this, so I knew something was going to happen pretty early. Small break.
Congratulations and thanks for being with us.
Well, Steve, that's all for this year's race. I think the riders are going to head home now for a well-deserved rest.
Jim, I'm sure they will. The course turned out to be quite a test of endurance, but the racers really lived up to that challenge. Everybody put out 100% today, and that's what really counts.
It certainly does. So, from the Greater LA Criterium, I'm Jim Patton.
And I'm Steve Foulger. Thanks for being with us. Well, that wraps up this edition. Parks Are for People is brought to you by the County of Los Angeles. I'm Steve Foulger, and for my friend Jim Patton, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.